Tetsuya stood before his pavilion, a silent silhouette against the morning mist. His brush hovered, poised with trembling precision above the pristine silk. For years he had been a man possessed, seeking a singular vision, the perfect sky. He did not want the clouds or the sun. He sought a void untouched by the passage of time or the cruelty of change. He mixed his indigo with the patience of a monk, holding his breath as he laid down a blue so deep it seemed to swallow the very light of the morning. When he finished, the silk was a mirror of nothingness. It was empty, silent, and cold. Satisfied with his sterile perfection, he set his brush aside to rinse his hands in the cool water of the stone basin. The silence was broken by the light patter of feet. A young girl, the tea seller's daughter, climbed the stairs behind him. She looked at the blue expanse, her eyes searching for the familiar white clouds of the valley. Seeing only a flat, lonely surface that felt like a wall, she felt a surge of innocent frustration. She grabbed the heavy inkstone and splashed a cup of water directly across the center. The ink bled into the silk instantly, blooming into a dark, jagged blot that tore through the blue silence. Terrified by what she had done, the girl turned and fled into the trees, leaving behind a ruined masterpiece. Tetsuya returned to find his life's work destroyed. He did not scream or weep, he simply knelt, staring at the black, formless scar marring the silk. To him, it was a wound in the universe. He remained motionless as the sun dipped below the horizon and the moon rose to cast its pale, indifferent light across the pavilion. The hours bled into one another as he sat in the darkness, mourning the loss of his perfect void. He believed his journey had ended in a stain of failure. He watched the shadows dance, his heart as heavy as the ink that had violated his vision. The world around him breathed, but the artist remained a statue of grief. At the first crack of dawn, a single sharp ray of light pierced the morning mist. It hit the painting with the force of a revelation. The ink blot, now dry and illuminated, began to shift before his eyes. It was no longer a stain, it was a mountain. The jagged edges became cliffs, its base was cloaked in the shadows of the valley, and its peak reached hungrily toward the blue sky. The accident had done what his skill could not. It had given the emptiness a purpose. Tetsuya realized with a jolt of clarity that he had been painting a cage, not a sky. Perfection was a dead thing, but this flaw was alive. He picked up his brush once more, his hand no longer trembling, but filled with a new, wild energy. He began to paint the fleeting. A bird in flight, a wilting poppy, the lines of a human face. He hung the stained silk as a reminder that perfection is a wall, but life is the wind that breaks it. The end is not the end. The stain is not a flaw. The child is not a destroyer. The Buddha is not in the void. The divine is in the splash.